Got a problem with my Ranger. It's clunking when I go around corners, coming from the rear end. Sounds like there's probably a broken gear tooth or something, so today I'm going to pull the differential cover off and see what's going on in there. If you're doing a differential fluid change, the process is pretty much the same. So I've got 3 bottles of differential fluid, the gasket maker. You're also going to want to get a plastic scraper to scrape off the gold gasket. First thing I've done is taken off the spare tire to give me a bit of extra room in here. So there's the differential. I've got an oil catch pan below it, socket set, and a socket wrench. This is a limited slip differential. You're going to want to know what type of differential you have before you take it apart. Because if you have an open differential, you can use regular gear oil. If you have a limited slip differential, you need to make sure you get the gear oil with the additive for the limited slip to make it work properly. You can also get that separately and use regular gear oil. In my case, this gear oil has the additive included. Before you start, you're going to want to locate the filler plug. You want to make sure that comes off properly before you go any further, because if you can't get the filler plug off, you're not going to be able to get the fluid back in there, and that's a problem. If we come around the side here, this is the driver's side. Looking up behind the differential, we can locate the filler plug, which is right here if you can see that. So it's right behind the drive shaft. You just follow the drive shaft back, and it's right here. To take the filler cap off, you don't need any sockets. You actually just need your socket wrench. So that goes in there. You could use an extension for this part. It might make it a bit easier. I've already loosened mine up. Once you can unscrew it by hand. Right off the bat, you can see a whole bunch of metal shavings stuck onto the filler plug there. That's not good. I cleaned off the filler plug and I've just put it back in place, hand tightened it for now. That way no dirt gets in the back end there. Next we're going to pop the cover off. So you're going to want to take a 1/2-inch socket. That's what these bolts are anyways. Put your oil catch pan right below the differential cover. And undo all the bolts. Taken all the bolts out, except for one at the top here. This is on here loosely just to hold the cover so it doesn't fall. I've got a screwdriver, flathead screwdriver, hammer, in case I need it, and I'm going to try and pry the cover off. Here it comes. See the fluid starting to leak out. Take the last bolt out, and I'll see if I can get this cover off now. Okay, so here's the inside of the differential. From this angle, I don't see any broken tooth on the rings, this gear right here. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to block the tires so the truck doesn't roll. I'll put it in neutral, and then we'll spin this around, take a look inside this part here. Truck's in neutral. I just spun the drive shaft. Found two problems. You can see inside the carrier here now. I don't know how well you can see it on this, but the spider gears right in the middle there are completely ground down. Right at the bottom you can see that shiny tooth. That's ground down quite a bit. Yeah, doesn't look too good. Now I'm scraping off the old gasket material. I don't have an actual plastic scraper, so I'm using this thing here. Okay, so the gears are definitely worn. So I'm probably just going to end up welding those together. We'll make it a locked axle, solid rear end, whatever you want to call it. And got the differential cover all cleaned up. Got the gasket seal cleaned off the differential itself there. And I found one more problem. Got a bad U-joint here. This is the back end. There's all sorts of play here, if you can see that. Okay, so I'm ready to put this back together for now. If you're doing a fluid change, you might want to clean this up a bit more than I have, but I'll be taking this apart next weekend, so that's clean enough for now. So I've got my gasket maker, and I'm just going to go around the edge here with it. Okay, I've gone around all the bolt holes with the gasket maker. I've got my differential cover here, clean and free of debris. I'm going to put that back in place and start off the bolts. One more important thing to mention, if you're using this type of bottle to refill the differential, the kind with the pop-off or the pop-up cap here, it's probably a good idea to remove this cap altogether. Just pop it right off and then fill it up. What happened with me is the cap actually came off inside the differential. Luckily it didn't fall anywhere, so it was just kind of sitting in the fill hole. I was able to get it out with a shop vac. I just held the vacuum up to the fill hole and it came out that way, but you don't want that getting stuck in there, so just something to keep in mind anyways.